Alright, sorry about that, everybody. We had ourselves an interesting little error. Apparently, BattleNet is struggling a little bit, and so we weren't able to actually even get in to spectate the match at hand. But thankfully, we have ourselves a workaround. We're already mid-progress here through this first game. Do see the road coming out for St. Clair to start things off. We're already seeing this get ourselves into a bit of a skirmish. Of course, St. Clair taking about 8 damage so far. Nothing too crazy, especially since this is supposed to be based off of combo. Gonna be able to clean up the board ever so slightly. A rather healthy minion on the side of University of Waterloo. Taunted, that's going to stop any sort of attacks going directly into the face of the University of Waterloo player. Looks like we're just about hitting turn 6 here. So again, apologize for the bit of an awkward start to this this first game. But we got this. We're moving forward. Gonna see what we can do. And unfortunately, due to this as well, Zeddy was here ready and waiting, but unfortunately cannot get him into the broadcast this time by. So definitely appreciate him for coming out to try and make this happen, but it wasn't meant to be today, it seems.
Give me that. Look what I won!
Oh, up to no good.
And this is looking a little bit rough as we, of course, see the Rogue vs. Rogue continue on here. That's going to be a huge shot to the face here for our St. Clair squad after the one card, basically matching the attack and the defense of that taunted minion. That is going to be rather brutal to try and deal with. Going to require a lot of the St. Clair board to try and deal with unless they have an option to remove it via their hand itself. And this is an interesting point of view, actually, that we're going to see here today for our St. Clair squad, because this is right from Gunther, right from the player himself. So, see all the moves as it's happening here, and sure enough, 2 cards going to be necessary to get right through that taunt minion. But it is at least going to be able to take the threat off of the board. Still got 2 minions there for the University of Waterloo, but it's not exactly the most threatening as of this moment. Getting ready to set up here for the secrets. They can take another one because of the card they just played as well. Special effect from there. Built up a bit of a defense and going to keep on doing that as long as they have enough mana. Going to bring it right back into their hands so they can do this play once again. Clean up one more minion, and then a little poke to the face to finish off that one.
Spin like the suns, strike like the winds.
Of course, this is, like Zeddy was saying earlier during the pregame about World Kick Road, so we're kind of starting to see some of those cards calling out here, and it's going to possibly, if this keeps on going here, could be the end depending on what the University of Waterloo does have in their hand. Still a little bit of mana left to go. Being able to spawn another minion just cause. Perfect for the side of Waterloo. Keeper's going to get triggered. Not going to take out the Waterloo minion, but at least going to add a little bit of extra damage to it.
Quickly.
I mean, of course, health in this game is resource, so if you're not going to take much health for eliminating a minion, might as well go for it. University of Waterloo in the driver's seat for this game so far. Questing Adventurer, if they can get something rolling here to buff that card up, could definitely be a threat, but again, have they waited a little bit too long, or has it taken too long for everything to line up in their favor? Gonna try and do this secret thing once again, if they can at least slow down some of the bruising to their face, of course being down to 10 health. That is easily something that can be done in a turn if the cards do line up correctly.
Choose soon. Care to make a wager, friend?
And that's the kind of start they were looking for. They were able to at least get this questing adventurer up to a 5/5, so still going to take plenty of trading in order to try and get that thing off the board, unless they can eliminate it via a specific spell card. And there is going to be a massive board clear here for the side of St. Clair. They're unfortunately maybe not going to be able to do as whole play that they had in their head. It did kind of time out on them. So they're looking to take a swing towards a phase. It does not make it there in time. It does give you, Waterloo, some time to fix this up, and they managed to pull out a fireball from one of the discovered cards and combos it up, of course, with the Eviscerate. Once again, St. Clair gets all set up, but before they can actually strike, it is going to falter. Who would have thought that you pulled out a fireball from one of those discovered spells? Unlucky there for the side of St. Clair, of course. With the discovery spells, it can think specifically for that one. It's a spell card of any class, so a rogue just pulled out a mage fireball. Definitely a little bit odd, a little bit interesting, but unfortunately for St. Clair means that that's going to be a quick end to game number 1. That those still best of 5 action still here. Of course, now the rogue is taken off the board here for the University of Waterloo, meaning they're going to have to go to either. I'm going to double check to see what they still have left in the tank. Stand by. Just a moment. So it's either a priest, a shaman, or a warrior. So I think they had priest and shaman. So we'll see that coming up next here from the University of Waterloo. I think they're going to hop into the game pretty well right away here, it looks. Sure, they're hopping in right here, right now. I'm going to take a look.
Arise and carry out our lady's will.
And let's get into it. And maybe not. Breaking stuff. Don't mind me. It's been one of those days here on the broadcast. Hopping back into the swing of things, of course. Bear, if that's going to hop in just a second once again. Alright, don't worry. The darkness was my fault. Sorry about that. Hopping into it right here, right now. Game number 2 between University of Waterloo and St. Clair College.
Lead the charge.
Saints are actually going to switch this up as well. We're going to bring the warrior out instead, up against the shaman on the side of University of Waterloo.
Burn to flame. I challenge you to Makara! Strike! Burn to flame!
So St. Clair possibly in a position to close this board out, get a little bit of face damage, and they also have that armor smith on board as well to possibly start building some armor. The more their minions take damage, continue to build up additional health pool. It'll be difficult to try and plow through. Now, starting to see a bit of a bunny flood coming out here on this side of Waterloo. And transforms all of them, completely changing everything. Those were all 1/1s at one point, and now massive value as we have some actual rather threatening minions. It actually threatens all of St. Clair's minions as well. Changed everything on the board. So just as I was talking about building up armor, no longer going to be the case here. That being said though, There is one minion on the side of the St. Clair that does have that poison right then and there, able to basically instantly delete one minion off the board. Gonna go for that 4-5, take care of it nice and quick. With the weapon in hand, this is probably going towards that minion. Gonna take care of it. Able to completely clear this board. Got a couple bombs out on play as well, and board control continues to stay in St. Clair's favor as of this moment. One of the things that you can do here in the Twitch chat, if you do want to see the decks at hand, or you want to possibly even copy them for yourselves, definitely more than welcome to! Decks in the Twitch chat. We'll break up the link to their deck lists, and you can use it for yourself in the live in-game client as well.
Like my invention.
Bit of a slow turn here for the side of Waterloo. Draws a card and calls it a day after dropping the totem. Yeah, sure, they got a little bit of spell power, but it's going to require that St. Clair doesn't drop anything now. Or rather, that their board doesn't get touched. And considering the amount of minions, I would imagine that probably gets dealt with.
What next?
Still 3 mana left in this turn, and wide open if they want to start attacking the face, if they really want to, or maybe just clean up the minions. Waiting to see what they end up pulling off here in this case. Dread Corsair to be the play. Of course, 3/3 of taunts. They already had the one card with taunts, but adding on a little bit extra, just making it that much more of a reinforced wall here. Oh, the Armor Smith in play, able to get some additional armor as well. One extra armor and a massive punch in the face. Not too bad for the side of St. Clair, starting things off strong here in game 2. This warrior deck really lining up correctly so far. There's those Bogspine Knuckles. We were just talking about the slight nerf that they did end up getting, so it couldn't actually combo with the Dread Corsair. But still powerful enough to take one out, rather. Trade one out 1-for-1, but of course, massive shot to the face. Almost half of their health gone in this situation. No minions on the board. Looking rough here for the University of Waterloo's Shaman deck so far.
This will break your fall.
Okay, whip the anchor on, and once again, this is all just free damage to the face of the University of Waterloo. One more turn like that, and that is going to be a quick game number 2, as the pressure's on. St. Clair looking strong. It's only turn 6 or turn 7 here for Waterloo as well, so they don't even have necessarily a lot of mana to try and like bust open a combo if they happen to have one ready.
Here for a good time.
Okay, we do have a massive flood of minions here, but they do have to manage to get through that taunt. Okay, that's one way to do it as well. With that minion having a rush, going to be able to get on the board, attack right away. And actually, Waterloo may be able to clean this up just ever so slightly in this situation. Sure, St. Clair was able to get, for every attack that minion took, there was an extra bit of armor on the side of St. Clair. But now all those minions just transformed basically out of nowhere. All the 1/1s getting much more value in this situation here. Including that 5/5, going to go right into the Armor Smith, take it out. No more armor for you. Bomb goes into the 1/1. That's not exactly what St. Clair wanted to see. This other one, okay, does go into 1/2. That is an 8/8 on the side of Waterloo. Once again, just insane how quickly the tables can turn here in Hearthstone. minions have guaranteed 2 damage to the face if necessary. There are no taunt minions on board here for the side of University of Waterloo, so if some way, somehow, they can manage to pull 9 damage out of nowhere, it would be unanswered. You would not have to attack the minions to get through. And by discovering a spell, that could very well be the opening that they're looking for. I'm not sure if that's specifically a spell for their class, or if it's a spell across anything. And it could very well be the case like we saw during game number 1, where Waterloo, as a rogue, was able to pull a fireball. Time's kind of ticking here for St. Clair, so they got to figure out what they want to do. Could be finding themselves a safer play, as all the minions' health now go to 1. Specifically doing that to deal with the 8-1. Definitely worth it. And then being able to explode for 1 damage to everything. Perfect play there for St. Clair to salvage the board after there was a ton of minions, and 2 brutal ones specifically, that could have definitely wreaked some havoc. But they saved their face for now. 7 health left on the side of University of Waterloo. Now with 7 mana to try and make the play. Do they have an answer to build their board back up, or is St. Clair going to be able to just plow right through?
Treasure? Loot? What more can I ask for?
Okay, bringing back one of their weapons. And they transform, and okay, it's not as bad this time here. The 4/4 is kind of but at least it's no 8s this time for the side of Waterloo. This could be crafty if they want to try it. The sticky finger here could possibly steal the weapon on the side of University of Waterloo, guaranteeing 3 damage into the face of the Waterloo squad. And sure enough, it does look like it's going to be all spells from their own class, so they couldn't pull anything super crazy with this one anyway. They are in fact going to steal the weapon, so taking that out of the hands of Waterloo. That's going to be 4 damage, actually, to the face if they do opt to do so, unless they decide to go towards a minion instead. Transform again, and actually the knife thrower. I think it's every time you play a card, you whip a knife out at something random. Imagine if you could play something and whip it right into the face and get a kill shot off it. That would have been crazy. But not going to be the case.
Never be afraid of your inner power.
3/3 discovery coming on the way for Waterloo. Could they make something happen? Gonna take away both of the minions on the side of St. Clair, completely opening this board up. Definitely taking their time with this one. Of course, like I was saying before, 7 health is not exactly a lot to be playing with here. Want to make sure this one counts and make it. I'm talking about 7 health. They have 3 health now. What am I talking about? And they're going to go for the lava burst. Just do some direct damage and probably some attacking into the face, I would imagine. Getting at least 6, maybe 8 in this time by. Wait, they're going for more. Can they squeak it in before the rope? It is going to be the case. And they completely transformed everything once again here. And just because we have the weapon, that's going to be all that's necessary. By stealing that weapon with the sticky finger and none of those minions turning into a taunt minion, that is going to give St. Clair the victory here for game number 2, putting themselves on the board. Was a close one. You could tell that something was starting to brew on the side of the University of Waterloo, but it's not going to be successful here this time by for them. Game 3 will be right around the corner, and I do want to thank, of course, everybody for tuning in so far. I know it's been a bit of an awkward start to the season, bit of an awkward broadcast, a little bit of dust bunnies in the system of sorts, but is what it is. Happy to be broadcasting some Hearthstone here for you, and we've got plenty more action, of course, on the way. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and sticking through it. And, of course, a big thank you to the sponsors that do make the St. Clair Saints possible, of course, that being, of course, St. Clair College, the Zeckelman School of Business and IT, EC Outlet, St. Clair's Alumni Association, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Big thank you for making all of this possible. But now, with St. Clair, they got the Warrior off the board, so they were able to successfully take that one. And where are they going to go this time by? That, you didn't hear that. That was definitely heck of annoying, which means it is the Paladin coming out here for St. Clair this time by. Waterloo going to give this the Shaman deck a second try here, though. Not going to try and switch it up. Just maybe didn't quite get the opening hand that they were exactly looking for. Reboot, try again, see what you can do.
I hope you like my invention.
Job done.
I just felt during game number 2 that University of Waterloo were not able to really keep anything of theirs on the board. They had some pretty threatening minions at one point, thanks to as a weapon of theirs, but it was either stolen away from them or it was completely cleared out by the Warrior deck from St. Clair. But now with this Paladin side of things, let's see what happens here. With that minion being transformed, turned into a taunt, it's already a pretty early game threat. Not very many things can easily plow through taunts of more than 1 health pretty early in a game, it seems like sometimes. Now granted, if the Saints do end up trading this card into the enemy at some point, destroying it, they do get to add a dragon, I believe, to their hand. So at least going 1 for 1. Okay, Shaman's hitting the go button, and they're actually going to put the Knuckles out right away. We're going to see some transformations here in a second after a ton of damage being put here on the side of St. Clair. And the dragon does get added into the hand of St. Clair. The transformation happens on the side of Waterloo. Not exactly the craziest thing. Granted, yes, trying to go through 4 health might be a little bit difficult, but it could have been much, much worse. I mean, if the Shaman player, if Waterloo had any secrets right now, that'd be absolutely nuts. But I assume that they don't go into this thinking that they're going to randomly transform into the guy who plays secrets. So, let's see here, possibly trade out here with the Lion. Transformation once again. Not too bad once again. We do see Taunt minion coming out here for St. Clair. Going to buff this thing up as well. 5/7 on the board. Taunt with a death rattle effect. Ready to go. That being said, though, with that, not being that being said, because that weapon is dead. Those Knuckles are gone, so you don't have to worry about that Taunt minion getting turned into something completely different. You can actually invest with it. But actually, there you go. Solid play there from the side of Waterloo to be able to bring back that Knuckle. So this Taunt minion from St. Clair, you basically just have to attack once, and then they have the chance at rolling 5 deadly minions and turning St. Clair's minion into something worse than what it was. We're just going to plow right through it. Maybe I misunderstood the effects ever so slightly. But either way, lots of damage done to the St. Clair side of things. And those are some hefty minions. This Shaman deck really starting to fire up here. Trying to find an option here. You've got 3 minions on board with with over 5 health, or 5 health rather. And the weakest they hit is 4. And then you got the Murloc.
Hello?
You can definitely tell Gunther in this situation, talking it over with the team, because it's not exactly a clear-cut answer here. Gonna try and bring out one legendary, gonna buff this thing up. Brings out 8/8 Divine Shield as well, make it a 10/10, but still kind of worried. Like, sure, they made themselves a very beefy board. I'm just waiting for these to just evolve, wait for them to transform out of nowhere once again.
And my brood wakes.
A from a 5/5 gets transformed into another 5/5, but not sure if that one has any special effect. Unfortunately here, things get a little bit messed up, but I'll explain that in a second. The transformation happens once again. And is this enough to kill? It actually puts most of them to sleep, it looks like, so no additional damage going to be coming out here on the side of the University of Waterloo, but with a board as stacked as that, if Saints leave this board open, they will be going down here in the next turn. Taunt minion on the side of U Waterloo makes things difficult as well, trying to go through 8 damage. That being said, now it's all 1 damage. Do they have an AoE of some sort, or are they just going to use Penfinger here to possibly get rid of either taunt or something with an effect? I'm going to take the card with the effect out.
What's me? Hey, loser!
That definitely makes sense, of course. With that card, Penfinger specifically, every single time you play a spell, you can basically reuse this effect. So he gets to pick and choose each minion that he wants to take down because they're all 1 HP in this situation. Try and take down the biggest threats specifically here. 2 mana still left to play. They could do Penfinger again if they really wanted to. Going to opt to just swing for the fences. Gonna hang on to a Shimmerfly and the Young Priestess. Nope, not the Priestess. Didn't take the Penfinger route, but they do manage to clear the board from what was some actual brutal looking minions there.
Treasure? Loot? What more
Then
could I
once
ask
again,
for?
as if we weren't fed up with this knuckle, this weapon, the Horde are gonna bring it right back out. Letting you Waterloo play with it once again. They do fire out the coin as well. That is a big ol' 8/8 coming out on the side of the University of Waterloo, looking absolutely threatening, but at the same time, Saints could very well trade their dragon into it to get rid of it if they really wish to. And with all the minions, of course, having summoning fatigue, they cannot attack right away. The most that can be done here is Waterloo. They can attack with their hero themselves. That's exactly what we're going to see right to the face. Transforms the minions, messes things up, and actually a 1/8 taunt now being the roadblock here for St. Clair to deal with. Can be dealt with rather easily if they just whip the dragon into it, unless the Saints manage to have another way of thinking about this one.
Hello? 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 Hey, loser!
Okay, fair enough. They're gonna poke out, I believe that was the Brightwing. Takes it down. Damage directly into the face of the Waterloo player. I was thinking they were hoping that went in towards the minions? But with time ticking away, St. Clair need to find an option here. Otherwise, they very well might just be done if Minion and the hero attack at the same time. They're going to fire everything they have into this Minion. Can they get it all up in time? Last second buff. Can they squeak it in? They need one more damage, I think, to take care of this Minion. Did they squeak it out in time? Did the Penfinger come out? No, it did not. So it's still going to be living. They had 1 mana left. They were too slow. This game's over. Unless... No, it's a quest, not a secret. So yeah, this one should be done here. Unfortunately, a Penfinger away. It's always the scary part with trying to take your time and think about the play as much as possible, because sometimes you leave yourself absolutely no wiggle room, and we did see the error in play. I do believe there could have been, of course, something else stopping, but from at least the outsider's point of view that we had here, they had 1 mana left. They could have done 1 extra damage, but they waited too long, and unfortunately, that's going to put St. Clair now down against match point. University of Waterloo looking in solid position to take the priest and then try to take the match victory here. Continues forward. Saints had the right idea, but just misexecution. And like, people look at Hearthstone, it's like, oh, it's all RNG, it's all thinking like, what is their execution to be noticed about? Situations just like that, it's trying to take as much time as possible to make the plays. Can you squeak everything out in time? Not everybody can. So we hop into game number 4, of course. Now it's the Shaman that took the victory in that last one. So St. Clair now need to bring this Paladin and make it work. Do have the Dragon Tamer here once again, so being able to get themselves a big dragon if necessary. It came out early last game. We did see it in the hands, but constantly being threatened by the evolutions, the transforms from the side of Evolution Shaman of Waterloo. You can tell that they were just so nervous about putting that thing down. Yes, it's a big old beater, but if it just switches to something else in the end, is it really worth it? The Saints are going to be able to take care of this game. They do have their rogue deck still available as well. Bit of a modified combo deck, I believe Zeddy was kind of talking about earlier, where it wasn't necessarily a World Kick rogue combo deck, but it was a little bit of a modified combo deck. Edwin Van Cleef still, of course, in the deck. We'll get to see some Priest action here. Personally, haven't seen Priest for a little while, but at the same time, it's been a good little break since we got some Hearthstone action here on the St. Clair Saints Twitch channel. Gonna bust open the coin early and look to find themselves a spell and call it a day here, it looks like. Unless it's a 0-cost spell. Alrighty then. Okay, so St. Clair gonna have that 5-cost dragon, that yellow dragon there we see in the bottom right corner. Does have that available now since that Dragon Tamer did go down. That being said, taking that off the board nice and quick though does give University of Waterloo the better chance at board positioning. Sure, Saints can pop the Paladin active there to bring the 1/1 onto the field. Probably just going to drop the Engineer, get themselves an additional card, of course.
Like my invention.
Classic Hearthstone card.
To battle!
That's one way to make one of those minions threatening. Buffs it up. Now, from a 1/1 to 3/1, able to clear off that minion. And now St. Clair going to hold the board for the moment. No answer here from the side of University of Waterloo. This could be the opening. St. Clair need to maybe move things forward a little bit more. Going to secure their board space as well, putting down that beefy taunt minion dead center of the board in this case. Looking to possibly buff something additional. Going to do it to the novice engineer. And just do maximum damage possible here for this turn. Of course, with University of Waterloo running the priest, their active is able to heal themselves by 2 at the cost of 2 mana. And actually, burning the silence on the engineer. That's a little odd from the side of Waterloo. Curious as to what they're thinking about. Am I wrong thinking that the silence should have gone towards the taunts minion, or am I just losing my mind here?
I'm going to throw the book.
And interesting enough, we do have ourselves another one, 2 beefy taunt minions on the board here for St. Clair. And right now, Waterloo does not have an answer in sight. Slowly but surely taking more damage to their face, down to 23 at the moment.
On wings of destruction they come.
Gonna scavenge, try to find something via one of these discover cards, find one of, or find a spell that could possibly get them out of the situation. What do they find? Okay, so if that big old legendary that the side of Waterloo dropped down does go down, it is going to be transformed onto their side of the field, if I read that correctly. Unfortunately, I can't double check it. I cannot, unfortunately, control their board. Sadly, Blizzard server is playing games with us here today, not being able to actually spectate it ourselves, so we're spectating it straight from the player's point of view, on delay, of course. So what we see happened 5 minutes ago in their time. And all of a sudden, pop the hammer and pop yourself a big ol' elemental. 6/6, ready to rock. And they're just going to go straight for the face of Waterloo in this situation, it looks like. Are they going to try and save their weapon? We're definitely debating on it. I'm just going to say screw it and go for the legendary. Gonna end up going for the legendary, and sure enough, we do see here transforms. And okay, that does make sense. Make that minion that was just summoned, give it rush, charge through, and now that big old taunt minion's gone, and this is a deadly looking board here for St. Clair. Relatively safe one too, considering they have at least one minion still at 6 health. So even if like a Holy Nova or something goes off, it's not going to be the end of the world. See if my card manages to give them the spell that they're looking for. Heavy hitting AoE, solid single target damage, or maybe just something to summon a bunch of minions all at once. Waterloo searching for the answer here. That will do it. And being able to deal 4 damage to everything basically clears off this board. Just double the power of a Holy Nova, basically. That being said, 1 minion still standing. It's going to be 4 damage to the face of Waterloo for sure. But what else can St. Clair get off this?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Spoiler!
And attack straight to the face. They still have all their mana though. Going to replenish their hammer to bring out another elemental. If they go through with this, that is. That's going to be exactly the case. And then send out one more scout. And that'll be the turn there for the side of St. Clair. But 14 damage if everything stands right here, right now. Okay, that will do it. Going to take care of the 1 minion and be able to heal themselves a bunch off of it as well. looking to make the play here. The Elemental, they could very well just go straight for the minion, take care of it right away. Or they can just opt to ignore it and trade into the face. Looks like taking out the minion is going to be the play, and then use your dragon to top that minion right back off. Get that Elemental back and ready in action. Definitely like the play. Of course, the dragon being able to heal 8 health. St. Clair, they only lost 3 health so far in this game, sitting at 27 out of 30. So it would have definitely been an overheal if they used the dragon on themselves. Oh, they're going to just whip out the Shadow Word Death, though. Instantly kills big minion. So I'll take that off the board. Now the dragon on the side of St. Clair going to be the biggest minion in play for at least this moment. Mind Vision always makes me nervous, of course, it being able to take one card from your hand or basically copy it. But if that's all they can really muster, it's an interesting play here. It's going to at least let them keep themselves alive a little bit longer. Bring them back up to 20. So delaying the inevitable at least a little bit longer.
I'm here just in time.
Now that they took a little bit more heat, they can bring out the other dragon and heal themselves up. And the pressure is still on here. Waterloo just looking to clear this board if possible. Yes, those two dragons don't exactly have taunt or anything, but still able to clear out more than your average card. That came out of the hand of St. Clair, so that Mind Vision actually coming in clutch here for you, Waterloo, putting a gigantic roadblock in the way of St. Clair from making them do more and more damage. St. Clair's got pressure, they're doing damage, but right now, you Waterloo is just constantly healing everything off. Saints are going to drop one of them, one of those big ol' 8/8 minions for themselves as well. Has that Divine Shield if necessary, and they could very well use this broom to make that minion have rush so it can attack the first turn that it's played.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
I'm going to bring out the Pride as well. So now that they got rush, every minion on the side of St. Clair can attack in this situation. Probably going to see them either use the Lion or use the generated minions to kill that off. Yeah, sure enough, use that so you get the Death Rattle effect. Draw 2 more cards, use that Divine Shield, and then this way, everybody else on the side of St. Clair is able to just charge on through. Massive chunk of damage here for St. Clair. One more turn like that, and we're going to be going to a game number 5 here between you Waterloo and St. Clair. Too much burst damage unless there's something that can either not polymorph but slow things down. That's one way to do it though. Using basically everything they have to make sure they can at least trade some of this here. And including those 2 8/8s going after each other, that's a big chunk of damage off the board for St. Clair. So now even playing field in this situation, still have a little bit more mana to make something happen as well. They managed to blow all their mana, but they completely cleared the board. Beautifully done there from University of Waterloo. And then if Saints can't rebuild in time, Waterloo can just keep healing themselves back up over and over again.
Hello? Hello?
Did St. Clair just run out of gas in this situation? Especially now that Waterloo has those 2 dragons. I mean, 8 damage the face is no slouch. You can't be taking too many of those.
Hello?
Shatrak will not fall in vain.
Drops the legendary, so now a couple extra cards in the hand for St. Clair. Wish I could check and see what exactly would be going on in that situation. We're going to have to trust in the hands of the Saints and the hands of Gunther in this situation. They're lying on board here. No rush this time, though, so he's going to just have to pass it off this turn. Probably going to see Waterloo. If they have another minion or a way to buff these guys up, that'd be pretty clutch. And that is going to be scary now. A 6/5 lifesteal heals itself up big time. Can also use the heal for their active as well. And the Mind Vision created one of those for them too. So 2 huge card steals from those 2 Mind Visions. And now the damage can actually start adding up here if St. Clair isn't careful. Granted, yes, that's like 1 damage away from taking out the 1 dragon, sure. But if you do trade into that, you're going to heal your Waterloo's hero all the way up to 25. That's probably the way to do it. Use the pen finger, take it down without actually attacking it, so the big heal does not go to the hero. And I like that this time the Saints are moving a little bit quicker with these pen finger plays. Before, they waited a little bit too long and forced themselves into a bit of an unforced error, costing them game number 3. It'll be much quicker this time. Now they could trade into the legendary minion as well. And they're going to buff up that lion actually to the point where it will survive the impact.
I cannot wait for it.
2 additional plays here. The heal, and there is that 8/8 with Divine Shield as well. St. Clair now managed to scrape away and get themselves some board control back with some threatening minions to boot. Gonna be opting to go towards Discovery once again to try and pull the answer, basically. Heart of the cards, are you with us here? Maybe, just maybe. Once again, bit of an 8/8 stalemate here in this situation. Yeah, I could very well just pen finger off the Divine Shield and then trade in to the other 8/8 while you still have your own Divine Shield so you don't take any damage.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Either way, St. Clair has the opportunity to put some damage on the board here to see how exactly they plan on doing it. So yeah, it's going to fire the 1, take away the Divine Shield. Going to use the lion into it, would leave it with 1 HP. If they can bounce the pen finger back into their hand and use it again, then that would be effective. Maybe questioning it just a bit, but they don't have much time to really do it. But they actually drew another pen finger after the hit, so they don't even have to use the spell effect to pop it back into the hand. So it's going to be maximum damage into the face of this Waterloo squad. So they take that down.
Life and hope.
Still a lot of cards in hand here. With Alexstrasza coming out here, of course, massive 8/8 throws a card into the hand as well, it looks like. And that is a beefy old thing. It is going to be firing away on all the minions, but thankfully there for St. Clair, the first one went right into the minion with Divine Shield, so it does not go down from the effect. And now Saints have to decide, do they try to take away the minions, or do they have a way to deal 17 damage right now?
Purity.
So they're not going to be able to get through the 1. They're actually going to use the pen fingers. Can they whittle this down enough by using spells? If they're going to be able to do this, they have to actually move pretty quickly, though. This could take up pretty much their entire turn to do so. And they're using the 1 spell to actually buff up their minion as well. Those minions can do up to 11 damage right now. Can they do it one more time? They have enough mana. This should be lethal here for St. Clair, and we're going to be going to game 5. Exactly enough for lethal. Saint's going to hang on. They're going to make this Paladin deck work for them. And now we get to go to game number 5, of course, Rogue versus Priest, this time by Saints. Like we were saying before, a bit of a modified combo Rogue, not the whirl kick Rogue that you would see in, or rather commonly on ladder play. I'm going to hop into this one pretty well right away here. You're going to hear it kind of in the background just loading on in. But yeah, game number 5. With how the first one was going, I did not expect us to get to game 5, but I'm definitely pleasantly surprised. I absolutely love to be wrong, and especially trying to solo cast Hearthstone. I know I am going to be wrong constantly, but I'm still happy to be able to bring you this matchup here for you all tonight. Of course, a couple gremlins in the Blizzard servers, making things a little bit difficult here for us today. But the show goes on. We make something happen here. Taking our time figuring out their first hands. And they managed to get the Questing Adventurer early in their hands, so if they can manage to find a way to line that one up, it would be absolutely crazy. And they managed to just summon a 10-10 for 10. Colossus of the Moon right off of the first turn because of that kitty. If that actually sees play, I will be definitely floored. They very well could coin out the Adventurer here if they do want to start building it up a little bit. Assuming that University of Waterloo will not have something ready and waiting to kill it off early. Of course, that is the weak spot. You put it out too early, and before you get the chance to buff it up, they take it out. Well, then you just kind of wasted your Adventurer. Granted, St. Clair managed to draw themselves a second. Takes care of the minion. They're not going to opt for the Adventurer just yet, as we do see some spells available for discovery. Going to opt to take the secret. Take a kitty to the face, and then move on with their turn. Bit of a rough spot actually here for Waterloo. No answer for turn 2. Is just going to heal themselves up and keep on pushing on. Could be time for the Adventurer to come out, considering they have another one just in case.
Give me a quest.
And that will do it. Shadow Step, of course, bringing the minion back into play. Going to buff that Adventurer up twice and allowing you to discover yet another card. That is a messy card right there in the middle for that puzzle box came out. Just being able to fire all kinds of random spells, but they actually end up going for the 8 mana card instead. Being nice to me and helping me avoid the chaos here.
Do you like to play with fire?
Okay, one way to try and do it. Of course, that Power Mage is going to do 1 damage to everything after every spell cast. going to be able to take down the Questing Adventurer even through its buff. So shuts it down rather quick, able to burn through that 4/4. A Pyromancer probably not going to be long for this world, however, but I believe University of Waterloo don't expect it to go anywhere anyway. Really thinking about this Netherwind portal. Does kind of force themselves to try and wait for a spell on the side of Waterloo, but given it's a priest, it's probably going to fire a spell off at some point. Sends a minion back to the hand, so play that thing again later on, discover yet another spell if necessary.
On wings of destruction they come.
I gotta be able to discover a spell, so Saints might be on the right track here with regards to that secret. There goes after the spell cast, able to bring a minion out. It's just going to be a little 3/3, however. Top himself back off and move on forward next turn here. May very well be time to buff up this Questing Adventurer once again. Gonna be able to bring it back up to a 4/4. Another Netherwind portal is available if they do want to go towards that. Or Tome of Intellect. Add a random mage spell. That's probably what we missed during the first game when we were trying to get it all sorted out, but that was probably the reason why University of Waterloo found themselves with a fireball at the end of that game.
So many options.
Saints might very well be looking to try and find something of similar value. Going to be taking that card as well. Only costing 1 mana, doesn't really take much out of any play they would have wanted. We're going to clean up this board. Probably pass turn for now. A loaded up board with some not too bad minions. Questing Adventurer, strongest thing on the fields as of right now, sitting there at that 4/4. Granted, it could be territory now for like a Holy Nova or something. Could easily clean out everything but one of the minions on the side of St. Clair. This could be the option as well. If they have a spell ready and waiting, could very well burn away the 1/1s. And that's fair enough. Discover a spell and take care of 2 of the minions? Not bad. And boom, they're all gone. Nicely done there from University of Waterloo. Stopped both of the Questing Adventurers. And unfortunately for St. Clair, or fortunately or unfortunately, it depends. We have that 4 mana that they ended up pulling. I remember seeing it before in what was the Turtle Mage composition, where you just kept returning a turtle and returning that spell that they have in their hand. Constantly back to the hand over and over again. You can keep playing it over and over again until you run out of mana. But I'm not sure if a rogue deck is exactly conditioned to make that play work. We'll have to see as we move forward here if there is a way for Saints to pull this one off. Granted, way it is right here, right now, it's still not too bad. Minions on board, ready to go. Both teams still sitting full in regards to their health pools. And we are going to see the Holy Nova come out. Takes care of 2 of the minions at least. 3 mana still available for you Waterloo if they do want to fire away with something additional. Cost a spell and be able to draw yourself a new spell. Just like that. So Waterloo still able to get some decent value out of the situation. Trim down the board for St. Clair just a bit. And now with that minion for St. Clair being taken down a notch in regards to its attack, it can't even take that minion on the side of Waterloo out. So bit of a standstill here. Looks like they're going to pull out the weapon on this one and just go straight towards that minion. Of course, you leave that thing on there and the priest just keeps playing spells. There's just more and more spells going into the hand of the priest, and that is never a situation you want to try and deal with. Pop 2 secrets and moving forward here for St. Clair's turn.
I wonder. I wonder.
Waterloo really taking their time here. Just gonna ignore the healing portion of that. Just gonna opt to discover a spell. Normally I see a discovery off the start here. They're either one of 2 things. Just completely like stranded looking for an answer. Or they have a combo ready and they're just looking to see if something will make that even better. And like we see there, they dropped the Renew and they had absolutely no other answer. So 7 mana still in the pot there for them. It's just going to be all going to waste. Hour of Creation coming out here for St. Clair. Have some options to select here in this situation. Next Mage Scribe would be quite interesting, and in fact that's exactly what we're going to see. Using the coin actually proc that. I think it does. Sure enough it does, so fill up that hand with spells, basically turning it around onto the priest in regards to how many spells that they were drawing earlier. You think of rogue, you think of daggers, you think stealth and blitz attacks. Well, apparently this one knows how to work some spells as well. And I'm going to save one of those Mage Scribes, put them aside for later.
You think this is your time? It is
And that's quite interesting. Just going to completely mimic everything that Saints did in their last turn, while also putting themselves out an 8/8 on the field. Interesting. That poisonous minion might have came at a massively clutch time, however. Just throw that into the 8/8 next time by. Of course, poison doesn't matter the attack, you get to kill it. Lots of cards in the hand here for St. Clair to make something happen. 9 mana on deck. Both these teams still sitting pretty high in HP, however, 28 to 30, so still no real threat of lethal as of this moment. You see the Mage Scribe come out again and opt to try and get a double effect off here by playing one like backstab or something.
Magic is not a toy.
Looking like that's exactly going to be the play. Take care of some damage off of the one of the 5 HP health. Or 5 HP minions, rather.
Already dead.
Choose soon.
Sure enough, yep, use the poison, take care of that. It looks like that Mage Scribe effect is only a once per turn thing, so they could not just keep spamming it out there. And if the Saints had any sort of plan moving forward there, they were once again a little bit too slow, it looks like. Cycle Hatred could be something pretty interesting if it does line up, but looks like Alexstrasza going to come out once again, big ol' 8-8, ready to roll in this situation. Trying some health. Make sure we get rid of one of those Mage Scribes, and the preparation goes down because the hand was too full. It's definitely annoying there for this side of St. Clair, since of course that is I think a 0 mana spell basically. Could have definitely used it as a part of a combo.
So many options.
I'm hovering over a lot of secrets. It looks like that is going to be the case here. Load up a defense now that Alexstrasza is on the field. Of course, you play one spell, you can pick another, and it's looking like the freezing trap's going to come into play as well. Do it again. Which one do you want this time here? My minion attacks your hero, destroy it. That could be a bait, but they're not going to end up going for that one.
Choose soon.
Okay, it's going to keep loading up on secrets here. They're going to get to do this again, but they're kind of running low on time to keep this play going. Load up and then attack the face. Okay, so that is a massive wall of defense for the side of St. Clair now. So many secrets. Like, what about these two 8/8s on the side of University of Waterloo? Of course, if they did manage to squeak in there, that's 16 damage by itself. And no duplicates, wishing for the perfect card. Mr. Heart of the Cards himself coming out here. And the flare! Oh my goodness. So much for those secrets. In not many situations would I expect the perfect card to actually be a flare, but a perfect timing play there inside of University of Waterloo. That is huge, and Alexstrasza is absolutely gigantic in this situation. All of St. Clair's options are cleared off the board. And that is a absolute heartbreaker. Time and time again we see here in Collegiate Hearthstone leagues. Like, Saints have the thing all set up, and it's always just one moment. One thing that just completely messes it up, and I swear that card, that's Wishes for the Perfect card, has definitely played around with the Saints on multiple occasions. It's like now their hands are full of secrets, but can't keep, like, getting value off it. Equip a knife with poison. That could be something to take note of, but granted, if they swing to the face for that, that's still 10 damage going straight into the face of St. Clair.
So many options. Choose soon.
You can tell that Saints are definitely boggled in this situation. The rope's going down, and they still don't have their play underway. Let's hope they can get something moving. They don't have very much time here. They are going to use the poisonous knives to go right into Alexstrasza in this situation. So we see constantly things being thrown out here in this situation. We have, at the end of the day, poisonous knives, a secret, and a kitty. Of course, that kitty does not have taunt, but I mean, it's only a 1 damage thing, so just use your hero, clear it off. It's no big deal. I gotta return it to life with 1 HP. The kitty that won't go down and actually steals a weapon over, so you can't even use the poison on that dragon later on in the game. So much is going in the favor of University of Waterloo right now. It is not even funny. The Sticky Fingers came in clutch for St. Clair during game number 2, I believe it was. But now we're seeing it possibly help deliver the finishing blow to St. Clair here in game 5.
Your treasure.
Sure enough, and it's going to be the opening. Good old chunk of damage in here. They're going to be able to bring out one of the dragons. But 188 versus this is not going to change anything, I do not think.
I wonder.
What is the last-ditch effort here for our Saints? I can tell a few things definitely didn't go their way. I know even when they were drawing the mage spell, you could have had a fireball do a little bit of extra damage. Instead, they have that potion. Definitely not exactly what they're looking for.
Choose soon.
Time ticking down. Now look to try and make some sort of play. Basically by throwing their entire hand away and hoping they can get everything on the board at once and hope for like a taunt or something. But I don't think it's going to be the case. There was a blizzard. Can they... Okay, they're going to be able to actually stall everything out because of that. They trade the hand out for at least a moment. They freeze everything on board so no attacks can be made. Probably see is the hero on the side of University of Waterloo probably go into that dragon. Get rid of the 8-8, and then Saints are basically back to square one at this point, where they don't have an option to kill some of these bigger minions on the side of Waterloo. The classic Twilight Drake coming out to make a play. And they're going to be able to get themselves yet another dragon, it looks like. If that legend goes down, rather. Take the damage, take care of the 4-4. And then just to finish things off as well, the Smite completely clear the board. Saints have no minions that are going to be able to attack this turn. And it is looking grim for our heroes here today. Or glory attempts using basically all their mana to try and draw something. And it all goes downhill from here. There will not be an answer coming out of the hand of St. Clair.
I give up.
In fact, that will be the case. University of Waterloo coming in clutch here in game number 5. Definitely a rough one. A lot of the discovery, a lot of the heart of the cards not necessarily going in the favor of St. Clair this time by. And then the fact, like, when things started to go a little bit downhill, they at least had themselves their own little Christmas tree full of secrets. And the fact that the one card basically just gave them flair, being able to completely get rid of any secrets that they were holding on to, made it basically impossible in that situation. And the Saints are going to fall to the University of Waterloo here in 3-2 fashion. course, big thank you to everybody for tuning in to this broadcast. I know for the first one, technically the first regular season match since the Christmas break, broadcast went a little bit weird. Again, the whole Blizzard servers are being a little bit funky, to say the least, here today. And it made it so that the only way that I can actually spectate the players today was to do it via Discord and putting it on delay here, of course. So it did not exactly go into our favor. I know Shoddy, Zeddy had himself available, but unfortunately, in order to do it, it just wouldn't have lined up today. But still happy nonetheless that we were able to get you the broadcast here today. We're going to have, of course, a bunch of students coming in the near future to also assist here on the broadcast. If you're a student of St. Clair as well and want to get involved in the broadcasts, be sure to join our St. Clair Discord and let me know there. Send me a message. Commentary, behind the scenes work, want to do it, by all means, come on down. As we see here, there is still plenty of action here this season. Of course, match up at the top, that's what we just saw here today. And of course, Waterloo is going to be able to take that in 3-2 fashion. Our next live match is going to be in the Collegiate R6 Championships. That's going to be Saturday at 3 p.m. We don't know our opponents quite yet for that match, but we'll know soon enough. Of course, be sure to follow us on Twitter to figure out those matchups. As soon as we figure out, you'll know as well. Next Wednesday here on the Saints channel, we have some more Hearthstone, this time up against Carleton. That'll be at 6 p.m. rather. Thursday, we have some Collegiate League of Legends action up against York University. Looking forward to that matchup as well. First time the League of Legends team gets to compete since the Christmas break. And then some additional Collegiate R6 Rainbow Six Siege action on the 23rd. One more time, of course, big thank you to the sponsors that do make this all possible. That being, of course, St. Clair College itself, St. Clair Zuckelman School of Business and Technology, ECO Lid, St. Clair College Alumni Association, St. Clair SRC, and Tim Hortons. Of course, big thank you to everybody for making this all possible. Big thank you to everybody tuning in, bearing with some of the gremlins we've had today, but still having a good show. Our Saints fought hard. Solid job there, nonetheless. 3-2. Game 5 didn't exactly go in our favor, but sometimes it'd be like that.